Money, 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 money. I'm rolling in the money, 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 money. I get that fast money in a. I get that fast money in a. Money, 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 money. I'm rolling in the.
Hello and welcome to another edition of Sharp Bets and Fantasy Sets. As always, I am your host, Nick Fiorentino, and alongside me, supporting breast cancer awareness for one more week, is Chris Shaw. Chris, how are we doing today, buddy?
Doing all right, my man. How you doing?
Doing good. Anytime you could beat Tom Brady or the Patriots, it's a good thing.
It's always a good week when you get a W.
Yes. Maybe foreshadowing for our special guest, Tim Petresky. I talked about beating Tom Brady. Maybe you guys will do that this week?
No, it's not happening. We couldn't beat Tampa's third-string practice squad if we had money on the line. Like, it's just not happening. We're not beating them.
Well, luckily we'll get into that game. But for those of you guys who don't know, Tim is our flag football referee. He is the Ed Hockley of Manville Flag Football. So
Damn straight.
Thanks for jumping on, Tim. And also big time, prime time, Tim Sikora. Tim, how are we doing today?
Good, man. Good. I'm glad somebody finally hit the $25 big time challenge. Miguel, you're the lucky winner. Slide in my DMs and we'll get you set up with that free bet. For anyone who doesn't know, you don't actually have to put the bet in order to win. It's like a hypothetical magic bet. All right, so you type it into the Twitter, and if you hit, you get entered in and have a chance to win money. And Miguel, congratulations! I'm glad finally somebody took my money. But hopefully, hey, the Jets actually helped me out a little bit. They knocked, I think, everyone else out who took the Bills with the points. So let's have a good week.
Yep, they killed me, but they beat the spread, so at least there's that. As always, Sharp Bets and Fantasy Sets, you could find us on Instagram and Twitter at SBFS Show. And we are part of the True Exact Radio family, and you can find True Exact Radio on Instagram and Twitter at True, spelled TRU, Exact Radio. Our show airs on YouTube on Wednesdays and iTunes on Thursdays. I'm actually pretty excited for this week's shows, not just ours, but the shows that are coming on the True Exact Radio network that we have on YouTube. First and foremost, on Friday, the True Exact Show with Scott and the gang. They'll be talking to James Anito, sorry if I butcher the names, and Carl Johnson. Well, that one's pretty easy. They're traveling demonologists, and the cool thing is they'll get into, Carl was actually called to the Conjuring house, from the movie The Conjuring. He was called to that house before the Warren family was. So something pretty cool if you're into like the spooky shit. For Halloween, it's going to be good. A show I'm really excited about that's dropping on Saturday is actually going to be the debut episode of my wife. Michelle and I are going to be sitting down and speaking to Sarah Karloff, who's actually the daughter of Boris Karloff, who, if you don't know who he is, he was the original monster in Frankenstein, the original Universal Frankenstein. So really, really cool and excited to do that. And then obviously on Saturday, dropping as well on Halloween, is Mark's Side of the Ring, where we will be recapping Hell in the Cell. Along with Miguel, the man who won Tim's $25 bet. We will be talking Hell in the Cell, like I said, and Roman Reigns, I'm sure, because he is the best thing in WWE right now. So I can't believe I'm saying that. So that's all I have for all of that stuff, and we'll get into the recap for Week 7. We're already into Week 8. Boy, oh boy, the season is going by quickly. I don't know what you guys want to talk about first in terms of the recap. We could talk about DK Metcalf being fucking Terminator 2 and chasing down Buda Baker. We could talk about the Eagles somehow winning against the Giants and not covering, but winning nonetheless. We could all try to guess what the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys is right now.
You make a pizza.
There you go. So I'll let you guys go. What do you want to talk about first?
I want to talk about Dallas.
Okay, so let's talk about Dallas.
You think they're going to make a trade for either Ryan Fitzpatrick or possibly Jameis Winston two backups that aren't going to play anymore. Really no reason for Fitz to be in Miami. They're going with Tua from now on. I can't see them ever switching back. It makes perfect sense to me. I don't know what they would have to give up to get him, but I'm sure it wouldn't be much, and he's got to be better than the Red Rocket or Red Rifle or goddamn whatever, Little Red Riding Hood, whatever you want to call him.
At this point, the corpse of the Red Rifle or whatever you want
Red
to
Rider
call him.
BB gun.
Yeah, after that hit that he took, kind of reminded me of the Joe Flacco hit with Kiko Alonso on that Thursday night game.
Yeah,
Just
gross.
Joe Flacco.
No, the thing that got me about that hit though is none of his teammates came to his defense though. Like,
No, remember the fight that started when Kiko did it?
yeah, like bro, like if your teammate gets hit, you gotta fight somebody. Man, punch the water boy. I don't care.
Man. If you see them play, they don't play as a team at all.
Bro, but come
There's
on,
no
man. Like,
cohesion there on that team. What they got talent up the end. There's no cohesion anywhere on that team, and it showed on that play.
yeah, like your quarterback goes down and you just stand around like, man, like when's this check on clear? Like,
Look at what the Pittsburgh Steelers did just last year with the whole helmet incident. I mean, their offensive linemen went nuts.
absolutely.
You
know what I'm saying?
True. I don't know. I mean, I think in terms of the quarterback situation, Jameis Winston makes a lot of sense. There's talk of Atlanta blowing up their team. I mean, I would at least call about Matt Ryan. I mean, he's probably the best.
This season
You know
is done
what?
for the
If I'm the Cowboys, it's week 8 right now. I'm not making any trade. I'll take
So-
the L season long, pick up a high draft pick, and prep for next year.
Well, they already traded. It looks like they're already in sell now mode because they traded.
Everson Griffin.
Yeah, to Detroit. So Detroit,
Yeah.
who's right in the hunt for the playoffs, and just won their game since they played the Atlanta Falcons, and of course the Atlanta Falcons are back to being the Atlanta Falcons without Dan Quinn. Beating them on a last-second drive to Hawkinson, which I had anytime touchdown bets on, so I was pretty happy about that touchdown at the end of the game.
You do know that the Cowboys are in the NFC East. I mean, they still have a chance to make the playoffs, and they still have a boatload of talent, especially on the offense. Their defense can't stop me, you, and Sir, but their offense could still put up points if they have some.
Not lately. You see Andy Dalton out there, bro?
Well, that's what I'm saying. You need an actual quarterback. That's,
Hey, Tim, what was their record with Dak behind center?
Okay. I
Eagles,
understand.
Dak Prescott, they still weren't lighting teams up, all right? So
They were putting up points though.
Trading for somebody
They were
else's
putting up
back.
30 points.
How many wins?
What's up?
How many wins?
I'm just saying. I mean, they were looking to get 2.
I'm saying too, man. You can do whatever you want, man. You're not going to get that many wins with somebody else's backup if you couldn't do it with your own starter.
Yeah, but you're going to put up more than fucking 4.5 points. I think that's what they're averaging the past 2 games. They're fucking terrible.
I got to be honest. If Dak never got hurt, they probably beat the Eagles twice, and they definitely beat the Washington Redskins this past week. So they at least have 3 wins, probably 2 over Philly. As much as I like Philly, and Philly's getting healthier, I think now they'll. I can't imagine they're going to not win the division with the teams that are in it and everything. Maybe Washington will. Who knows? That whole division is just trash. I mean, it's just horrible. I don't know.
NFC least.
I think you're going to have a 6-game winner win that division.
I was looking at the Eagles. I think a best-case scenario for the Eagles is 7 wins, and that's without any upsets. They just beat the teams that they should beat. If they lose every game that they should lose, like to Green Bay and to Seattle and all of those teams, the Eagles will win 7 games. If somebody could win more than 7 games, then they'll probably win the division.
And they get to host a playoff game, which they'll probably get blown out in.
Yep.
Probably. I got to ask you, so I think for better or worse, for me personally, I'm a big, I look at the narratives, and I think of the narratives like big time. And my question to you guys is going to be right now, we're heading into the halfway point in the season. Right now, the Super Bowl is going to be who? For me, I look at one team where you have Tampa Bay and Tom Brady, and they look great. They're the most complete team. They're about to get Antonio Brown. And then you look at the AFC, and you look at the one team that's still undefeated, the only team that's undefeated. And for somebody who's such a believer in the narratives, I mean, how great is the Super Bowl this year going to be when it's Antonio Brown's Tampa Bay Buccaneers against the Pittsburgh Steelers in the Super Bowl? I just feel like I could hear them talking about it right now, and it just makes me feel like it's going to happen. I don't know. I think it would be a good game overall. I don't know if I necessarily wouldn't want to see it if my team's out of it. But I don't know, man. I'm like big on the narratives. I could see that happening big time.
Until somebody knocks Patrick Mahomes off, you know what I'm saying? He's still playing football right now, so he's going to be tough to beat.
So
The Steelers may be undefeated, but they're still the third best in the AFC.
So if you're, sir, we'll just go to you real quick, sir. Super Bowl right now is who?
We'll go Chiefs and my boys, Niners. Let's go.
All right, so we'll throw that pick out of the window.
Well, for the sake of confusion, we'll call you Tim and we'll call you Big Time. So Big Time, what's your Super Bowl?
I want to say Kansas City and Seattle. I know Seattle just lost. Yeah, sorry. Okay, you say no. That's what I'm going with.
Tim, what do you think?
I agree. KC, Seattle. I think Seattle is the best team in the NFC, and I don't think any of it's going to beat the Chiefs. You know, that Raiders game was kind of a fluke.
Do you think Seattle's a better team right now than Tampa Bay?
I think they're more athletic overall, and I would take Russell Wilson at this point in his career over Tom Brady.
I would take Tampa's defense, though, over Seattle's.
Of course.
I agree with that.
God, their offense is going to be – if Antonio Brown is even 80% Antonio Brown, their fucking offense is going to be insane.
With Godwin, Evans, Gronk's been waking up lately, AB, Fournette, Ronald Jones, like, they got weapons,
Yeah, they're very, very talented, that's for sure. But it falls back on the quarterback. If Tom Terrific can, stay ageless, then you're absolutely right. But if he has a bad game, like he's had a couple this year already, then Russell Wilson had a bad game and still, had his team with a chance to win in overtime.
Yeah, because Cliff Kingsbury's a moron. I mean, how do you get that interception with Budda Baker and Terminator 2 tackles him and saves a touchdown and you go for it on fourth down? Like, you were just gift wrapped. Fucking 3 points. You have to take the points. He's not a good coach. I still don't believe in Arizona. If I'm in the minority, I'm in the minority. He's not a good coach. He's done it time and time again.
He's a very good judge of character, as far as quarterbacks go. But I don't know.
There's a reason why he got fired in college, and he's not. To me, he's not a great coach. He makes too many clueless decisions in the game that just they didn't work in college. They're certainly not going to work in the NFL.
Hey, he's better than the Adam Gases and Dan Quinns of the world.
Yeah, but that's like saying we're better than them. I don't know. Is the DK Metcalf tackle one of the best football plays of all time?
No. That's
All
very,
time,
very
no, but
athletic,
in the past 10 years, maybe.
Great hustle, but I mean, like, greatest of all time? Nah.
I didn't say greatest. I said one of the greatest.
I mean, to be put in that category, I think your team has to fucking win the game, right? I mean,
It's like your tackle had to have, changed the outcome of the game. I mean, yeah, he stopped them from scoring points, but it didn't really affect. It wasn't like a game-ending drive or a game-ending interception or something like that. It was the third quarter, beginning of the fourth, or something like that.
Yeah, that's fair. I've
play.
never seen anything more athletic than that. I don't think. I just still can't
that was
believe.
impressive. That was definitely impressive.
It's just insane.
You're
anything else?
Just salty because he could have been an Eagle.
If Howie Roseman knew how to draft, he would be an Eagle. So could a lot of different people. But no, I mean, J.J. Arcega-Whiteside's pretty good. Jalen Reagor's pretty good. So we'll see. Nelson Aguilar and all his mishaps was pretty good. So
he's a stud now, by the way.
Playing pretty well for Vegas right now.
He wasn't. The year they won the Super Bowl, he wasn't bad. He just, for whatever reason, just had issues with drops. And Philly has an unforgiving fan base, and when he gets into your head, it can cause problems. But Nelson Aguilar, I always thought was a pretty talented wide receiver.
Them hands though.
Mishaps. Anything else in week 8 or week 7, or you want to get into week 8?
Move along.
All right. So we're going to move on to our primetime picks, where Tim is overall in the lead, but Sir won. And I am the worst, as you could see on the graphic. I am the absolute worst. And I'm positive for the year in betting, but I have been stone cold as of late. So I'm going to try something different for my shot. And it's going to be pretty rough. But I'm starting with the only team in New York to have an undefeated home record, the Guardians. So I'm going to start with my Guardians glass. And I have what I'm going to call the 3 wise men. Who are us 3, of course. And I'm going to start with the Rumplemans, the shot of Tim, to hopefully give me a little bit of luck in the upcoming week. There we go, pouring in a third of Rumplemans. I am going to put in the middle the fantasy expertise of myself, the one thing that I'm actually still good at. And I'm going to pour that in here. God, the color just doesn't look good at all. And they're both clear. And then supporting breast cancer awareness, my little bottle of Hennessy for Sir. And I'm going to top it with this. And this is just going to be awful.
What are you doing?
My wife is in the couch in the other room saying, yup. It is not going to be good. But this is my shot. It's called the 3 wise men. I'm going to try to reverse the curse. And you guys are both doing Hennessy, just Hennessy?
Do you have a fucking garbage can near you?
It smells like Rumplemans.
I'm sure it's fucking not
tastes
going to taste
winning.
like it.
All right, to Sir winning into reversing the curse.
Salute, boys.
Oh, what? It's so fucking bad. It's supposed to get better the more times you do it. Sir, why?
Not the greatest.
You're welcome. Now, how was it?
God.
Thoughts? We need thoughts here, sir.
My wife is laughing in the other room. I can hear her laughing. It's not great. It definitely a lot of Rumplemans you could taste.
Yeah.
Not my favorite shot I've ever had.
Would you do it again?
I hope to never have to do it again. But if I do
Nick,
have
I
to
hate to
do
break it to you. If you go 3-0 this week in primetime picks, you're gonna have to do that shot again.
Hold on. All right, so I'm going to lay it down for you guys real quick. If I go 3-0 in primetime, we all have to do it next week.
All right, that's fine. You're an idiot. So we'll be good.
All right, well, it tastes like I just brushed my teeth, and we will talk primetime games. And the primetime games this week are actually pretty much dominated by the NFC South and the NFC East, since the 6 teams are between the 2 divisions. We're starting off on Thursday, where Atlanta, who is just the worst, is going to Carolina. Carolina laying 2.5 points. The over/under I have is 49. Big time. We'll start with you on the bottom. What do you got in this game?
I had Carolina -3, and I'm reading that Christian McCaffrey might be able to play in this game, and that's the way I'm going to bet is believing that he's going to play. And if that's the case, I'm taking Carolina -3 over Atlanta. I could see the final being at 34-27. Atlanta's still going to put up points. Teddy Bridgewater has been playing pretty damn well as the quarterback in Carolina, and that's although it shouldn't be surprising because of the way that he lost his job to begin with, but it's very nice to see, and they've been playing some pretty good football. So I'll take Carolina -3 over Atlanta blowing another fourth quarter lead, which is one of the DK fucking odds boosts. They beat up Atlanta with that one. I couldn't believe that.
Just to go back to that, I don't think I'll ever see another image. Just back to week 7 one more time. I don't think I'll ever see another image of Todd Gurley in the end zone and the other team going for the touchdown because he scored when he wasn't supposed to score. And he's almost like saying, no, no, no. And Detroit is saying, yes, 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 is probably one of the funniest pictures you will ever see in a football game. It kind of
That is
reminds
the
me
most
of,
Falcon thing to happen.
I mean, there's just,
Well, I mean, you got to think back, though. I mean, it almost happened to the Giants in the Super Bowl against the Patriots. Ahmad Bradshaw did the same thing. He was supposed to stop, and he wound up falling into the end zone.
I was just about to say the same thing. You're right. Yeah, he did it too. But yeah, they ended up beating Tom Brady.
Ball back, and thankfully they stopped him. But it almost happened to them.
Yep, you're right. Who do you got in this game, Tim? Atlanta going to Carolina.
I'm taking Atlanta. I know they've lost a lot of games and they've lost a lot of fourth quarter games, but they're not a bad team overall. They are putting up points, and if you're losing a fourth quarter lead, that means you had the lead in the fourth quarter to begin with. And I think they're really just, again, the Todd Gurley play. You're 1 or 2 plays away from being a playoff team. You're not a horrible team. And I'm going to take them plus 2.5. I actually think they're going to win the game straight out.
Okay.
I just like their team. They've just had some bad plays and some bad luck, but I'm going to take them, and I'm going to take the over. It's going to be a high-scoring game, I think.
Okay. Tim, what did you say, over or under? Big time. What did you say, over or under?
Oh, I went over as well. I said
Over.
34-27. That was my best guess.
Sir, what do you got in this game?
Yeah, I can see this game being a shootout. The last time that they played, Julio didn't play. He's playing this week. But I can't honestly put any money on the Falcons. They just find ways to lose games. Can't do it. Yeah, McCaffrey might play, but Mike Davis has been doing his thing out there in terms of his absence when McCaffrey comes back. But with that being said, Carolina minus 2.5 is my play.
Do you think Davis's play – I'm going Carolina too. Do you think Davis's play makes Christian McCaffrey – kind of exposes him as a system running back, or you just think they got lucky and they have 2 good running backs?
Christian McCaffrey's a monster. I mean, you can't really say he's a system running back. I mean,
no, but Davis has been doing a lot of the things.
I understand. He's been doing McCaffrey-like things, but he's not Christian McCaffrey.
I don't know that Mike Davis could do what he's doing for an entire season. He did not have a very good game last week, so I don't know that he can keep it up for the weeks going forward. You see that a lot. Backups will come in and have a good week, 2 week, 3 week, and then all of a sudden, the wear and tear of being an NFL running back, 3 down NFL running back gets put on him. I would be surprised if CMC goes back to being the workhorse right away, because they definitely need him to be healthy in order to have a chance to move forward in the season and in the playoffs. So I still think you'll see someone like Davis, whether it be 3rd down or the odd spell, because obviously he's a legit running back. He could definitely be put into good situations and do some good work.
Yeah, I agree, and I'm taking 80% CMC and the real CMC and the Carolina Panthers minus 2.5, and I'll take the over as well, which means bet your mortgages on Atlanta. Going on to the next game, Dallas at Philadelphia. Dallas is getting 7.5 points. The over-under is 43.5. I'll start here, and there's not really much to say. I'm going to take Philly, and I'm going to take the under because I think the Eagles can win 24-7. How is Dallas going to score? Zeke has been exposed without a quarterback. You can just hammer him. The Eagles are pretty good against the run anyway. I just don't see anybody in Dallas. I mean, maybe a garbage time touchdown to Schultz. Their defense, the way that they're lined up, still opens up the tight end role. You see Evan Ingram, who has not been good all year, have probably his best game in what would have been easily his best game of the season if he caught that ball to end the game against the Eagles. They can't cover the tight end. It's just the way they have their defense set up, so they give up the tight end points. So maybe Schultz has a good game. I don't know. But give me Philly. I just think that Dallas isn't going to score any points. That's my opinion. Tim, what do you got?
Other Tim.
Giants. Tim.
Me? All right, my bad. Yeah, I'm taking Philly in the under. Washington just totally just whooped up on Dallas this week, and Philly's a better team than Washington. So I don't see how this game's going to be any better. And now Dallas is on their third string quarterback as opposed to their second string. I don't see this game being anything fun to watch at all, unless you're an Eagles fan.
And even then, it won't be fucking fun to watch.
I knew, yeah, because
fun to watch the team.
Carson Wentz throwing across the field and fucking just – Carson Wentz plays football like I play Madden. Right before I shut the game off because I'm down like 21-3 and I don't want to fucking play anymore. But, yeah. Sir, what do you got in this game? And stop making faces when people say that Washington isn't as good as Philly.
Who won? Who won the game, sir?
It's week 1.
They still won, did they? And you were healthy. But anyway, back to the game pick.
I'm taking this pink hat off of my fucking Hennessy.
Speaking of teams that I can't put money on, the Dallas Cowboys can do it, sir. Can do it. Give me Philly minus 7.5. Dallas has been awful. Without Dak was in there. They were putting up 30. Andy Dalton, DiNucci. You know what I'm saying? No, I don't see them scoring it much. Philly probably going to blow them out. With Dallas' defense, I want to go over. But as you guys said, Dallas' offense has been pretty putrid as of late. So, Philly minus 7. Give me the under, I guess. I kind of want the over just because but maybe they'll score 14, maybe. But give me 7.5.
Yeah. Big time.
I mean, we're all in the same boat here, which means the Cowboys will win outright. But it's really hard to trust Philly based on how they've been playing. They've not been good at all, but Dallas is just that bad. If they don't pick up another quarterback and that their third string guy is in, I can't see it getting any better than it was last week. So I'll take Philly minus 7.5, the under 17-7 maybe. I don't know. Hopefully this game gets fucking flexed out of that spot like the Tampa Bay game last week. I don't know what they have to pull to get another game in there, but they definitely should.
Just put Pittsburgh and Baltimore in. I barely want to watch the Cowboys and the Eagles.
At least you're able to get an early night's sleep.
I would like that. Yeah, especially because I can go to bed at halftime. If Baltimore's winning, then they're going to win the game. If Baltimore's losing, then they're going to lose the game. At halftime, I'll already know the answer to that. So, but all right, so we're all in agreement that Philly. I will say Jalen Reagor looks set to return. Philly looks like they're getting healthier. Who knows? Deshaun Jackson returned against the Giants and was immediately put on IR in that same game. Lane Johnson came back against the Giants and couldn't finish the game. So between the Eagles and the 49ers, the two of them are just the most injured, riddled team in the NFL by far. We'll go to Monday night, though. We'll go to Tampa Bay at the G-Men. The Giants are getting 10.5 points. The over-under is 46. I know, Tim, you said they have no shot at winning, but 10.5 is a lot of points. What do you think?
Didn't their Buccaneers just beat the Raiders by more than 10.5? And the Raiders are actually a good team. They're not. It's going to be more than 10.5. I'm taking that. I'm going to take the over too. I could see the Buccaneers putting up like 45 points on the Giants this week. They'll cover the spread. They'll cover the over almost by themselves.
Big time.
Again, another Monday night game not worth watching.
If you know mine and other Tim's relationship, I hate agreeing with him because normally he doesn't know what he's talking about. But this is one I have to agree to a T. The Giants just came off playing 3 straight games against the NFC least, and now they're going to play an actual real football team. They're going to get beat up. They might score a couple times because I got the over as well, You know, they could still move the ball, and maybe they'll put up 14, 21 points, maybe 17 points. But Tampa's going to put up 34 easy, and that'll hit your over. So I'll take Tampa Bay minus 10.5 and the over.
Sir, you won money last week, or at least your primetime pick, taking the Giants against the Eagles. Will you be taking them again?
I was torn on this one. Like, the Giants have been losing, but they've been being competitive. But I can't bet against Tom Brady. Tom Brady, he's played good football. 3 of the 4 Tampa Bay wins have come by double-digit points. I mean, yeah, they had. So give me Tampa Bay minus 10.5. I want to take the Giants, but can't do it.
It pains me.
One week is enough for
one and done. Maybe that's smart. I am not smart, however, and I'm a glutton for punishment. Chris Godwin's not playing. I know it probably doesn't matter, but Bradbury's a pretty good cornerback, and he seems to be holding top receivers to minimal fantasy points. Everybody on Tampa Bay's receiving core is battling some sort of injury, and maybe all they need is Gronk to beat the Giants. I don't know. But I think the Giants beat the Eagles and beat themselves. I don't think they're a terrible team. Joe Judge knows Tom Brady. I know he was a special teams coach, but he was still with the same organization as Tom Brady. I just have a weird feeling 10.5 is too much, and maybe I'm just an idiot who continues to pick the Giants time and time again and get burned by the Giants time and time again. And if so,
you should have picked them last week.
Then we'll see you next week. But
you had a chance to go 3-0, Nick. You had a chance to go 3-0.
Just follow us, and we'll lead you to the promised land.
You almost agreed with us.
I'm going Giants.
I hate you.
All right,
he doesn't want us to take shots. It's all right.
Let me add one more thing to that game. If Antonio Brown plays in that game, expect him to go off. They're going to showcase him and make other teams afraid to play him.
He can't play to week 9. He's serving a suspension.
All right, never mind then. Scratch that.
I just have a feeling. We'll see. As always, we shall see. But something tells me I'm probably going to lose. Anything else in the? Oh, and if I didn't mention it, I'll take the over. 46 is not a lot of points in that game. I don't think so. We'll see. For DFS, we'll bang out the DFS lineups now. I'll go first on this actually. Quarterback, I'm taking Baker Mayfield against Vegas, and hear me out for 6,100. Oakland has given up 30 points to 5 of the 6 quarterbacks, fantasy points, to 5 of the 6 quarterbacks that have played them this year. It's a big over-under at 54, which means there's going to be a lot of points scored. You know, Baker just lit up the Bengals for almost 300 yards and 5 touchdowns. Here's the one thing that I'm worried about and why I would wait in this. Like, I have some stock in Baker and some fantasy teams, but I'm waiting. As of right now, currently, I don't know how far ahead you guys looked at, like, the weather, but they're calling for 30-mile-an-hour winds in Cleveland this weekend. The weather's not supposed to be good. It's supposed to be a lot of wind. So, I don't know. A lot of wind, clearly not throwing the ball as much. The wind right now is in the 20 mile an hour, but they're saying there could be some winds of 30 miles an hour or higher. So I would wait, but as of right now, I do like him. I also like fucking Kirk Cousins as well as an option if Baker doesn't work out. Because of the high winds, I'm going powerhouse running backs for that reason. So I'm taking Henry against Cincinnati. We have one of the elite running backs against one of the worst running back defenses in the league at 8,000. And I'm taking Hunt again against Las Vegas at 6,900. If they can't throw the ball, they're going to be running the ball. So I do have Hunt in there. For wide receivers, my theme for wide receivers is good talent against terrible defenses. And I'm starting with Ayuk against Seattle at 5,800. There's no Debo. Seattle's defense sucks. There's not really much more to say outside of that. I'm taking Higgins against Tennessee for 5,600. Higgins is balled out, not the Cleveland Higgins. I'm going Cincy Higgins, but Tennessee's defense also isn't very good. He seems to be a big part of this offense. I do like him at 5,600, and I'm taking Jefferson against Green Bay at 6,500. We saw what Jair Alexander can do to Will Fuller. In that game, kind of held him to a touchdown late in the game. He did get, almost like a garbage time touchdown, but really held him in check the entire game. Assuming Jair Alexander handles Adam Thielen, that leaves Jefferson open for Minnesota against Green Bay. So I'm going him at 6,500. Because I have so many high-dollar guys, I'm starting to get cheap. So for tight end, I'm taking Ebron against Baltimore. I don't have the price on him, but he works with what I have. He's gotten 4 to 8 targets over the last 5 games, so he's getting the ball thrown to him. I'll take that. For running back, in my flex position, I'm going DJ Dallas, and if you have no idea who DJ Dallas is, let me just read this off to you. He's 4,000. Carson has a foot injury for Seattle. Hyde has a hamstring injury for Seattle. Homer has a knee issue for Seattle, and Penny's still out. So they don't have any healthy running backs for Seattle. And they can't really bring people in because of the COVID issues. They're not going to be able to play this week because of the COVID testing. So that rules out Marshawn Lynch. So I'm going to go DJ Dallas for 4,000 as the only healthy running back on Seattle, a team that likes to run the ball. And then for defense, I'll take Green Bay at 2,900. I think their pass rush is better than Minnesota's offensive line, and I think that they're a team that should win the game outright, so they might be able to pin the ears back and do some things on defense with a late turnover or something like that. So that's my DFS lineup. Those are some of the guys I like. If for some reason, I think I've mentioned them on every or at least most of the episodes, and I do have him on almost every single fantasy team. If Chase Edmonds is somehow still available in your fantasy league, this is the moment we've all been waiting for. Kenyon Drake has not ever been healthy, has never had a full workload for 17 games, even going back to college, has never been a full workload running back. So anybody who thought that Chase Edmonds, I think Chase Edmonds is the better running back, period. On the team. But we know Cliff Kingsbury's an idiot. So if he's somehow still available, he's the guy that you want to target big time. And with that, we'll go to big time for your DFS lineup.
All right. In my rushing to put this lineup in, there's two values I don't have. So hopefully, Sir, other Tim, you guys have the value. Maybe we pick the same person, but well, I'll start with my QB, Derek Carr, 5,500 versus Cleveland. They gave up 34 to Joe Burrow. Derek Carr loves to toss the ball deep. If there's 30-some-mile-an-hour winds, of course, feel free to switch him out. There are a couple good quarterback options this week for right around the same dollar value. I came in at like $200 under budget to work with. So you can move them in and out. Running backs, I went DeAndre Swift versus Indy. This is one of the values I don't have. He's got a touchdown in 3 straight games. Look to make it 4. Very active in the passing downs there for Detroit. Running back 2, I went James White, 4,500 versus Buffalo. They need to give Cam Newton some easy throws. He had easily the worst game. I know him personally. Me and Sir started him in the league, and it cost us this week. Me and all 4 of us were better options this week than Cam Newton at quarterback. If we would have started us, we would have put up more points than Cam did with 0. So that's how bad it was. They got to give him some easy dump offs, build the confidence. That's James White. That's his forte. Wide receiver 1, Devontae Adams coming off his best game of the season versus Minnesota this week at 8,800. There's really no explanation needed. He's the stud on my team, the most expensive guy out there. Wide receiver 2, I went A.J. Brown, 6,900 versus Cincy. the same Cincinnati defense that let Baker Mayfield without Odell Beckham put up 38 points. So I could see. I don't know if they're going to run the ball down their throat or air it out with Tanny, but A.J. Brown is my choice there. And wide receiver 3, I went with Nick's pick, Justin Jefferson versus Green Bay. He's got over 100 yards or a touchdown in 4 straight games. So that sounds like a no-brainer with Jair locking up Thielen. When my tight end, I paired with Derek Carr. This is where you can switch some of the values around. Of course, if it's a high win, they might target the tight end even more. Just depends how bad it is. But I went Darren Waller, 5,600. My flex, I had some pretty high-value guys. I think I went Marcus Johnson. I think he was 4K maybe. Maybe he was even less. Versus Detroit, he had 8 targets last week. Don't really know the status of the other wide receivers, but if he got 8 targets last week, I can't see them not utilizing him this week. And with the cheap value, I'll go for just some donkey points there. And defense, I went the Rams, 3,800 against Miami. It's going to be a shot in the dark to see how Tua does, and I don't know how he's going to play, so I'll bet that he's not going to play well. And 3,800 is rather cheap for defense, so I went with the Rams.
Okay. Sir, what do you got?
All right. At quarterback, I got Justin Herbert at 6,900. I played him last week. He put up 41 points for me. He's been throwing the ball a lot more. What's up?
Sir, I'm sorry. I owe you a shot from last week.
You're damn right.
I forgot. I said if you beat me in DFS, it's fucking Hennessy again, which is fucking terrible.
I can run over your. You only live a block away. I can run over if you want to do a 3 Wiseman.
Nick, how about this? If you fucking enter your lineup into our DFS group, I'll do a shot of 3 Wiseman next week.
Tim is my flag football ref, so he knows I'll get there in like 45 minutes running a block. But
I know, right? I'll get there eventually.
Slow and steady.
Because if Nick would have entered his fucking DFS lineup, I probably wouldn't have came in fucking last place again.
I probably would have won because I'm the best. No, I'm not. But I don't know. I don't even remember who I had last week.
Which means you automatically lost.
So, all right. So, I'm going to go Justin Herbert at 6,900. I had him last week. He bowled out. Without Eckler, he's been throwing the ball a lot more. He's been averaging like 25, 30 points a game, fantasy-wise. So, I'm going to go him against Denver, 6,900. At running back, give me Derrick Henry at 8,000. Not much to say. King Henry, he gets 20-plus carries a game. He puts the ball in the end zone. Give me Derrick Henry. And then, as Nick said, the weather might be bad in Cleveland, in Vegas, so give me Kareem Hunt, 6,900. Vegas is not very good against running backs. So if the weather's bad, the offense should flow through Kareem Hunt. So give me him, 6,900. At receiver, again, to pair with Justin Herbert, give me cousin Keenan Allen at 6,200. Keenan Allen should be a $7,000 receiver in DK. How he's only 6,200? I'll take it. Herbert likes throwing the ball, so I'll give me Keenan Allen. To pair with him, give me my man, Brandon Ayuk at 5,800. No Debo, which kind of sucks. But this Seattle defense, especially in the secondary, Swiss cheese. So
to quote Kanye West, I'm gonna let you finish. But you made a face when I said I'm the best at fantasy, and you literally have almost the exact same team as me.
I know, but yeah, because you've been learning from me, sir. I've been teaching you.
The only thing I learned is to go first, so it doesn't look like I'm posing you. But okay, continue.
I said, give me Ayuk 5,800. They've been giving the ball through the air. They even do like little jet sweeps to give him the ball. They put the hand in the playmakers. So give me Ayuk. Third receiver, you had the right name, but the wrong team. Give me Rashad Higgins from the Browns.
Okay.
With no Beckham, last week he caught all 6 of his targets for 110 yards. It's a cheap option, 4,200. At tight end, I rode this dude last week. I butchered his name,
say it again.
7 receptions for 60 yards. No, I will not say his name again. Albert
it again.
from the Broncos, a tight end, 2,800.
Noah Fant?
He had the same amount of targets as Noah Fant last week, and he's a lot
I don't know
cheaper.
who he is, man. Who is he, sir? I don't know who he is.
Albert O. Look it up. You'll see him. Denver Broncos, 2,800. At the flex, give me Jonathan Taylor at 6,600. This Detroit defense is beatable, especially with the running backs. So he's been putting up about 15 fantasy points a game. I like it. At defense, I don't like paying up for defenses, but if the weather's bad, this one looks even better. Give me the Browns defense at 2,600. They force a lot of pressure. They get a lot of sacks, picks. At 2,600, they can reach that value. That's my team. Put it in, make some money.
Is that the same Browns defense that just gave up 34 points to the Bengals? Just want to make sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the same
2,600.
Browns defense you're going to pay for them to have? All right,
26. Sir, if you listen, I don't like paying up for defenses because if a high-scoring defense might have put up 10 points, put that money elsewhere.
There's actually a big strategy, and I've been doing the same thing as Sir. There's a big-time strategy on DFS tournament play where they pay for like minimal defense, like just
hope your defense puts up
cheap.
10 points and hope one of your receivers, running backs go off for 40.
Yep. There's some strategies. I mean, who knows? Any given week, anybody can win. But some strategies, they just punt defense altogether and just invest in other positions.
And last time I checked sacks, they get like 3-4 sacks a game. That's the point.
Yep, I agree. Tim, do you have a DFS lineup?
I do. I didn't write down my values because I just didn't think about doing that for some reason, but I know it works out to be a full team. For quarterback, I'm taking Ryan Tannehill. He's putting up some solid numbers against some solid teams, and he's playing who's he got this week?
Cincinnati,
who just put up 37 points and 5 touchdowns to Baker Mayfield. He can put up points against them. Running back, I'm taking Edwards-Helaire and Henderson. I think Edwards-Helaire with the Jets, they're going to blow them out pretty big, and I can see them running the ball to just run the clock down and getting points.
Does it worry you that Le'Veon Bell is there?
To an extent, he's also only had 10 days of practice. I don't see him getting a huge number of carries. He'll get his, a couple here and there, but I don't see him getting a huge number.
So the score at halftime could be 21-0, 28, and they could put him on the pine, sit next to Andy Reid.
It's possible, but again, I got a feeling he's going to get fed. He got fed last week. He got a decent game last week. He's not finding the end zone as much as I'd like him to, but he's having good games. And again, he's got the potential to break touchdowns, and the Jets aren't exactly a great defense. So I could see him having a good week. Same thing with Henderson from the Rams. Miami's an okay team, but I could see him getting, maybe a touchdown in 80 yards or a touchdown in 75 yards. It's a pretty solid week. Receiver, I think we all had him, Brandon Ayuk. Same reason, Seattle lets up yardage. I also had Keenan Allen like Sir did. Justin Herbert's putting up numbers, and Keenan Allen's a beast. He's probably the most underrated receiver in the game right now. He gets less respect than he deserves. For my last receiver, I'm going with Henry Ruggs. Cincinnati just put up 34 points on the Browns. I could see the Raiders doing even better than that. So I think Ruggs is going to get his touches. Tight end, I got Jonnu Smith. If Tennessee gets down to some goal line situations, I could see them shoveling blocking the line to stop Henry, and I think that's going to leave Smith open for a couple of big catches. My flex, I got Justin Jefferson. Guy's just been balling, man. He's just a player. And for my defense, I know they've been kind of underachieving this year, but they're still a solid group, is the Buffalo Bills. And the Patriots aren't a very good offensive group. I could see them having a 2 to 3 interception game and maybe even a pick 6 in this one. Okay. So that's my team.
Seems like we have a lot of the same guys. I will say, in terms of just waiver wire pickups, and I think I'm going to punt on waiver wire pickups this week, so I don't care saying who I would pick up if I was desperate, because I know I'm in a few leagues with Tim. But Jermichael Hasty seems like he's pretty decent, and he seems like he's going to be the running back, at least in a timeshare with San Francisco. If he's still available in leagues, he might be a guy you might want to target. DJ Dallas is a guy that I think you might just be able to pick up off of free agency after the waivers.
After the waivers?
Yeah, I think everybody's still going to target Hyde. I don't think I don't think he's going to play, but I think more people are going to target Hyde. I don't think a lot of people, and I'm not to make fun, but like when I said DJ Dallas, like even Tim kind of looked like not sure exactly who it was right away. And I think most people, I'll be honest, I didn't fucking know who he was until today either. But
Yeah,
I drafted him as a backup on draft day in one of my leagues.
oh, there you go. All right, so
I know who he is.
yeah, he just doesn't seem like a guy that I think the common football fan really knows a lot about. So
Matchup isn't the best though this week.
yeah. To your point, Nick, when I was looking on Yahoo, they do a very good job of like pickup trends. If you go to the like player pickup, and Hyde was considerably higher than DJ Dallas. And with that being said, they gave the fucking perfect write-up on why you should pick up DJ Dallas instead. So I don't, maybe people won't read that in time, and your waivers, by the time you listen to us, your waivers were too fucking late. So sure. If he's there afterwards, that'll be the perfect time to scoop him up and to use him. And Nick, don't worry, my waivers are already in. They were in this morning when I checked my results and saw my fucking 2-7 awful fantasy week. I got screwed over a little bit. I had some personal bad timing at 12 o'clock before the game. So unfortunately, I had Aaron Jones in 2 leagues that I couldn't pull him out and then switch him. And then Monday we had a couple drinks, more drinks than I want to admit, at the bar for our first week of darts with me, Tim, and me, other Tim, and Sir. And I had Higbee in. It didn't matter if I would have started the other guy. I still would have lost the league. But just not being wise enough to check my phone before the game went off and switch him out was a real kick in the pants. But the two leagues I did win. You could all be happy. Big Lou in Staten Island took an L this week. I clipped them, so I got a good chance to win some money in that league now.
I'm happy about that because I'm undefeated in that league at 7-0. I had Tyler Lockett. Who faced Tyler Lockett this week? I faced him in one league. Shout out to my buddy Andrew, who fucking destroyed
I had him in one league. He dropped 55 points.
Yep, he did the same thing to me. I put up 160 and lost 213 to 160 to a good friend of mine, Andrew. So shout out to Andrew, who likes to talk a lot of shit, and I had to hear a lot about it, especially after I picked up Boston Scott, and he talked a lot of shit about me, thinking Boston Scott wasn't going to be good, and clearly scored a touchdown. So more to come on that.
Is that thing?
Real quick, one thing, sir. Back to your point about DJ Dallas not having a good matchup. A hamstring injury and a foot injury, those things can linger. You pick him up now, he may become valuable in 2 or 3 weeks. This may not be a good week to play him, but 2, 3, 4 weeks down the line.
No, I get you. I got you.
You know, they're not injuries quick.
If you are in a buy, like a strategy I plan on using in a few leagues, if you have a buy and you just need a wide receiver and a spot start, I like a guy like Scotty Miller more than I like a guy like Higgins, who's definitely going to be in free agency at this point. And I'm referring to the Cleveland Higgins, the guy that kind of replaced Odell, but he did play every one of Cleveland's snaps. He was on the field for every one of Cleveland's snaps. So he was the only wide receiver, that was. But again, that wind, 20, 30 mile an hour winds, they're not throwing the ball. But Scotty Miller, you got Bradbury on Evans. You got Godwin out. I could see Scotty Miller having another big-time game. He had 9 targets last week, 100 yards and a touchdown. I'm hitting Scotty Miller. I'm smashing him in a spot where I think he's going to be really, really good.
And, I mean, another thing there is look at Gronk, too. I mean, he's probably available, and the Giants historically are horrible against the tight end. I mean, how many great games has Zach Ertz had against us? How many games has Witten had against us? We can't cover the tight end. And if Gronk is getting his connection with Brady going, that could be something to look at too.
I faded Gronk in every one of my fantasy leagues because I just thought he was washed. And it looks like he just took a while to get going. But over the last 2 or 3 weeks, he's been fucking Gronk.
I'm the worst. I actually drafted him in I want to say 2 or 3. So 33% of my leagues, I had Gronk. And I'm like, fuck this guy. I'm just going to cut him. And I even told Sarah, I was like, sir, I cut Gronk this week. He's going to go off. He didn't go off that week. He actually played fucking terrible. So I was like, I'm smarter than I look. No, I still a fucking ugly bastard. So he's going to cook for the rest of the season. Somebody's already scooped him up in all the leagues that I dropped him in. So with tight end being so awful this year, I should have just kept them and dropped somebody else, but too stubborn for my own good.
I dropped Odell Beckham before he was Odell Beckham the first year in the league. So I think because he had the hamstring injury, if you remember way back, and I just couldn't hold him. I couldn't roster him anymore. I was like, fucking, I got to get rid of somebody. So I dropped Odell Beckham, and then he went fucking apeshit. And then I met him a couple weeks later. He came into the store I was working at, and I took a picture with him. But I digress. So let's rapid fire these parlay picks because we are getting late in time. And let's start with Sir.
All right. Last week, there was a lot of points. I like that trend to continue. So my parlay, I like the over 54 in Green Bay, Minnesota. Week 1, Green Bay won 43-34. I hope that trend continues in this week's game. I also like the Chargers, Denver, over 44.5. The Chargers have gone over, in their game total the last 3 games. Once again, I said Herbert's been balling, so give me 44.5 the over. And let's go Tennessee Bengals over 54.5. Tennessee is 4th in points per game at 31.3. The Bengals is no slouch. Joe Burrow has been doing well, so give me over 54.5. That parlay will pay plus 597.
All right, big time. What do you got for your parlay?
Damn, sir. I feel bad because I had the that same first over in, but I took it out. I might put it back in the Green Bay, Minnesota. For whatever reason, I like it, but I'll go with my games real quick. I have the over 46.5, Pittsburgh and Baltimore. It could be a defensive struggle, but both of these teams, I hope Baltimore gets out ahead because then Pittsburgh is going to have to fire back, and I think that's the way the over hits. I'm taking the Rams -4 against the Dolphins. Tua's first game. I don't know what to expect out of them. I don't think really anyone does. But the Rams are a legit team, and if it was 7, I would maybe consider just not touching the game. But I don't think 4 is enough. My last game, I got the Saints -4 against the Bears. The Bears are the worst winning team in football right now. I don't think their coach even knows what exactly they are as a team. And the Saints, although they're not all the way there, and I doubt Michael Thomas is going to play again, they look good enough last week. And 4 points against the Bears, I don't think it's enough either. My parlay pays $5.97.
Bears aren't a good running defense either. And who do the Saints have?
Pretty good running back.
Alvin Kamara.
Tay-Train.
If
Tay-Train, right? Tay-Train?
Tay-Train. If people call him that, by the way.
Nobody calls him that.
Everybody calls him that. It's
I don't think so, Nick.
It's funny about Chicago that DeAndre Swift catches that ball in week 1, and Chicago's 4-3. Like they aren't a great team. I was kind of high on it.
Funny Mitch.
I think I picked them last week with the +6, but they're just not a good team. Tim, what do you got for your parlay?
I'm going to stick with my primetime pick of the Falcons +2.5. Again, like I said before, they're not really a bad team. They're just a bad luck team. And I'm going to stick with them. I got the Rams -4 against the Dolphins. The Dolphins are a decent team, but they're coming up with a new quarterback. The Rams were in the Super Bowl 3 years ago. They're not a bad team. I think the Rams are going to cover that. And I got the Titans -6 against the Bengals. I mean, the Bengals let up points left and right, and the Titans almost beat the last undefeated team this week. I don't see that game being close at all. And that 3-way bet's a +611.
So I'm going to start with I'm taking Cincinnati +6 against Tennessee. So here's the deal. teams after playing Pittsburgh are 2-3 this year against the spread, so sub 500. Historically, teams that play the Pittsburgh Steelers and then go into the following week are historically terrible against the spread. I don't know why, but that's fucking, I'm going to hammer that. I like looking at statistics like this. I like looking at certain things like this. In Cincinnati, they led the Colts 21-0. Colts are a playoff team. And they were back and forth with Cleveland, who aren't a terrible team. I think they have more combined wins than everybody in the NFC East. I don't know if that's saying much, but I'm taking Cincinnati +6 against Tennessee. I'm getting 6 points at home. It just doesn't add up to me. Vegas and Cleveland, this is a bet that I will jump off of if the weather changes, but at this point, 53.5, I'm taking the under with the wins that are what they're supposed to be. Again, I'm not afraid to jump off this bet if I need to. And sometimes I think a bet is a good bet, and it just doesn't work. And I do believe in the theory that Anthony Lynn is not good and plays to his competition with the Chargers. And I get Justin Herbert is very, very talented, and he went off on Jacksonville. But I honestly think Jacksonville was the right bet. And I text you guys. I'm telling you, I text you guys, and I was like, when they were up a touchdown, and I text you the office, Michael and Dwight, going like this. And literally 15 minutes later,
Minutes?
Chargers,
It was like 13 seconds.
No, well, they came back 13 seconds, but 15 minutes later, because I looked it up on the text messages, they were down a touchdown, and I texted you guys asking you how great life was 15 minutes ago. Here's the deal. You got the Chargers. Melvin Gordon did not leave the Chargers on very good terms. Philip Lindsay's out. I could see this being a big-time Melvin Gordon game. Again, maybe I buy into narratives a little more than the other people. Maybe I do, maybe I don't. I don't know. But Melvin Gordon is going to fuck the Chargers up, in my opinion. That leads to a lot of running, and that leads to quite possibly an under. But Anthony Lynn plays to his competition. I will die on that statistic. I just think Denver is good enough at home to take the 3 points. I think Denver could win outright. What's up, sir?
If you're down, you're not really going to run the ball. And I can see the Chargers get up early, and then the Broncos have to throw the ball to keep up.
I'm not saying that can't happen. I mean, we all know it's the NFL and anything can happen. But the Chargers, time and time again, play great against great teams and play shitty against shitty teams. So however you rate Denver, and I'm assuming Denver is rated as a not very good team if they're getting 3 points against the Chargers play to their competition. I mean, you have Justin Herbert. You have a team that almost beat Kansas City outright. I mean, they should have went for it on that fourth down instead of punting it. Maybe they do beat Kansas City, but then they are having issues with the Jacksonville Jaguars for most of the game, losing late in the fourth quarter, or at least into the fourth quarter. I just don't think they're a very good team. They play to their competition. And Denver, I think Melvin Gordon, like I said, is going to have a great game. I'm taking Denver.
Nick, I don't even blame you for your terrible pick of the Jaguars, because I was sitting next to Sir, and as soon as they went up a touchdown, I'm like, Sir, we need to hedge our parlay. I'm a big fucking hedger because I love guaranteed money. And although we still had the night game to worry about, I was very worried about how that game was playing out. And I couldn't even get through a conversation with Sir. I put my phone down. I looked up. I was like, oh, let's put the fucking hedge in. I look up on the TV, and Sir's like, yeah, I think somebody just scored. I'm like, how? We were talking like 5 minutes ago. Yeah, they were already down 7 points instead of being up 7 points. So I hope you're right for betting's sake. But I can't trust that. I can't.
There are times where 2-7 offsuit will beat pocket aces. And there are times where a good bet just doesn't work. And like I said, I'm big on statistics and I'm big on things like this. It is an absolute fact that yards per play, they match their competition more than any team in the NFL. They match their competition on yards per play. Maybe that changed with the 70-yard touchdown pass, but it remains to be seen. I also, in most of the picks that Sir made, honestly, the over-unders were picks I was looking at too. So I feel pretty good about my picks, and I feel pretty good about where we're at.
On a side note, one game I was looking at was Buffalo and the Patriots. Buffalo's minus like 3.5, 4.5, I think. New England, New England's not playing very well. Like Cam has just he started off the season hot and he's been falling hard the last couple games. Like same with Josh Allen. So I was leaning toward Buffalo, but I like over-unders because I like team scoring points. Doesn't matter who scores them as long as they get scored.
Chicks dig the points, right, sir?
You know what I'm saying?
Speaking of teams with points, we'll just rapid fire this. Jets plus 19, yay or nay, Sir?
Nah, fam.
Tim?
Nah, no way in hell. 24.
Big time.
Fuck yeah. Let's go. Jets, Jets.
Suck.
Back-to-back covers, baby.
I was hoping you were going to say no because I'm definitely all about the Jets plus 19, and I also like the under. So we'll see. Let's run through our best bets. I'll rapid fire one more thing. Does anyone while I do my recap of everything, let me know who's winning the World Series right now. If one of you guys can look at that. So going back one more time, guys, thanks for joining us for the upcoming Week 8 of Sharp Bets and Fantasy Sets. We don't make any money off this. We enjoy doing it just to win money and to help you guys win money. Plus, to just talk football for an hour to an hour and 15 minutes every single week. All we ask for is no percentage of any of the winnings that you get from this show. All we ask for is to like and follow us on Twitter and Instagram, which is SBFS Show, our initials in show, and to follow the True Exact Radio on YouTube. A lot of shows are going to be dropping. There's a lot of great content on there. Follow the shows. You have to do both, including making your parlay picks and sending them to Tim before the games that you pick start.
Put my fucking free bet in, you dumb fucks. I can't believe that no one's trying to do this. I had to talk people into doing it. I'm trying to give away money for free, and nobody will just put a fucking bet in. Like you don't put the bet in. Just search what it would be and just send it to us via social. It's easy, very, very easy to do. My one buddy hit me up and was like, "Oh, well, I put it in my DK." I'm like, I don't want to see that you won. It doesn't cost anything. I just put it in. Just tell me what it was. That's all. Just keep doing it.
Literally, my life during football season is at least 10 to 15 text messages a day of who would you play, blank or blank? Who would you add, blank or blank? Who's a better matchup, blank or blank? And all of you are freeloaders, but I love you, and I have no problem helping you. But fucking like us, subscribe, enjoy the show. That's why we do it. What's the score of the World Series?
Dodgers just tied it up 1-1.
All right, so
Bottom of the 6th.
are the Dodgers winning the World Series tonight? Rapid fire one more time. Tim.
Nope.
No, I want to see a game 7. Let's go to a game 7.
Sorry. That was other Tim. My bad.
Sir, that's okay. Sir, what do you got?
Yep, Dodgers win. Good night.
Now, I kind of want to see a game 7 too, so we'll see if Sir's right or if the rest of us are right. All right, guys, thanks again for joining us. Thanks, Tim, for joining us. We actually, and he will jump on, so I don't mind saying his name, but Chris Lopresti from WFAN, who's been on with the True Exact Radio show that drops on Fridays. I've been in contact with him. He was going to be on the show tonight, but something came up and he wasn't able to. He will be on the show on November 17th. We have that locked and loaded. I don't know what we're going to do for the show next week, which is Election Day. Maybe we'll do some prop bets on the election. I don't know. But I figured we'd stay clear of that show in terms of having him on for that. It might be a little crazy. But, Tim, we want to thank you for jumping on for sure.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate your knowledge and everything. And, Tim, where can we find you on social media yourself?
Instagram, at Adventures of Tim Rex, and Facebook, Tim Petrowski. That's about it. I don't do much.
I will say he's being modest with his baggy jersey. The man looks great in a tight
Yeah,
jersey.
it's a bit oversized.
So the man looks good in a sleeveless. He kind of looks like Psycho Sid reffing the match made in hell.
There you go.
SummerSlam.
He also looks pretty solid in a fucking T-Rex costume as well.
I do. I'm sorry I disappointed everybody. I just couldn't get the damn thing to stay up, you know? My age, it happens.
We don't have any sponsors for Blue Chew, so we'll just move right along. All right, guys. What's everybody's best bet? Sir, what's your best bet?
Over Green Bay, Minnesota.
Tim, what do you got?
You know what? I'm going to wing this one because I actually forgot about this part, but I'm going to go Falcons plus 2.5. I'm going to stick with my Falcons. Let's go. Let's go Dirty Birds.
Big time, what do you got?
Give me the Rams -4. Fuck Tua.
No, I'm just kidding. I have an undefeated team, and I'm getting points, and I get Baltimore's good, but give me Pittsburgh +4 against Baltimore. We'll know at halftime who's going to win, but give me Pittsburgh +4 against Baltimore. That'll do it, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we look forward to talking to you next week.